Welcome to God Talk Improv, a show where a rocket scientist and a medical doctor, who is also my pastor, talk about current topics in science and faith in an unplugged fashion in 15 minutes. So let's get started. Dr. Andy, welcome to the show, and please give us a topic.
Yeah, hey Doug. I think an important topic for improv today has got to be centered on the Republican debates and the presidential nominee. And I'm going to call it this: the good, the bad, and the Donald. So,
All right.
Donald Trump is sort of his own guy. You know, he's his own category. So we kind of separate. But I'd say, did you watch the debate the other night?
I actually watched both debates.
You did. I didn't see the first, the junior one. No.
And actually, that was actually the better show because they
Now, you had Huckabee and Fiorina
and Santorum.
All right. And who else? Rand Paul refused to come, which I think was a mistake.
Well,
I think it was a mistake.
They didn't really debate, and I don't really like it when the candidates go after each other and
right.
on all that.
That's a negative.
I much rather hear, well, what's your platform? Just give me your...
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And if you have something that's better than this guy, tell him, hey, my ideal's better because he's going to do this. Don't run him down the road. Don't give negative on the stage. We don't have time for that.
All right, so you watched both debates. I watched the second debate all the way through, and we've got some things. So we have the good, the bad, and the Trump, or the good, the bad, and the Donald.
All right.
And let's start out with talking about some of the good things. And I'll say one first, and you tell me what you think. But I felt like, just like you were talking about, they were at each other in the first part of the debate, which is bad. But I felt like towards the end, basically they seemed to be pretty well united with each other on a Republican conservative platform, hoping to defeat Hillary.
Right.
And that was their goal. And I felt like they were pretty well united by the end, which we need a united front, and we don't need them breaking each other down. They're hurting each other that way. So I thought that was a good thing that they were united. Now, the bromance is over, though, between Cruz and Trump.
Right. The best thing about the second debate, the main stage, was their humor.
Yes, they were likable.
They were likable.
I think that's important.
The humor is very important. We haven't had that before. We're in a Republican setting.
Right.
I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why Obama has gotten elected twice is because he is so likable.
Well, he's likable, and I guess you could say they're entertaining. They're quick. They're able to come back with comments quickly, and it keeps the debate lighter. It allows people to enjoy and see them as a person. I think that's really what it is. You're able to see them as a person and relate to them in a way that's not just dry statistics. I mean, they're actually talking about life, and you see that they're human.
The best line, of course, is
Carson.
Carson, where Bush was saying, everybody on this stage is better than Clinton. And so Carson immediately gets up and goes, he was talking about me. I get 30 seconds because he was talking about me. And then the moderators go, when did he talk about you? He goes, he said everybody.
Yeah. That was a good line. And there were others too. There were other funny lines. Trump was funny, I thought, at times. Well, another good thing was Carson said the comment, every time you get a regulation, that's a new tax.
That's a new tax.
So that was a good point.
It's a different way of thinking that, right?
So when you tack on a government regulation, you're just taxing people more, right?
That's right.
And we don't like big government. We've never been secret about that. And that's part of why it's sneaky.
Well, and it's not, those aren't representatives. This is organizations, government organizations out there. It could be EPA coming up with a new regulation that's not controlled. It doesn't get debated in Congress. It's just something that they come up with.
Sure.
Now you got to deal with it. So he's absolutely right. If they come up with a regulation, it's going to be a tax on you.
Yeah. And another thing was in the earlier debate, we were talking about it, and one of the comments was that Fiorina actually made a comment that she loved spending time with her husband, unlike Hillary.
Yeah, she goes, unlike another woman in this race, I love spending time with my husband.
Yeah, that line's been out there.
Oh, my
Again,
goodness.
funny, but shows a lot of character. Who is she as a person versus Hillary? That those kind of things you say, well, that doesn't matter. That's not about taxes or gun control or platform. It shows us a lot about the nature of the debate because let's We're electing a person.
Right.
And you're able to see something about their character. I mean, somebody else said a comment about Hillary. I don't remember which one it was. That, well, she'll either be in the White House or she'll be in jail.
Right.
I mean, it's a pot shot, but it's drawing out the character. Who is this person? Do you really trust them to be the president?
Now, Huckabee, believe it or not, he had a good line. He says, you cannot create a desire for democracy. Talking about these other countries, like Afghanistan or Iraq or Syria.
Iran.
He goes, you can't create a desire for democracy, and that is not the role of the U.S. The role of the military is not nation building, and Democrats have such a bad time with that. They want to go in and nation building on these and hopefully that the natives will like us. Because the role of the military
It's not about that.
It's not about nation building. It's about killing the enemy.
Yes. Huckabee said that.
I
agree with him. He's a good candidate. I wish he was on the main stage. Another thing, of course, he's a pastor, so I like him. But another thing that all the candidates are, except for possibly Kristie, which I'm sure he would argue, but all of them on that stage are against this aggressive gun control. They all are supported by the NRA, I believe. Most of them have an A rating. And they believe that you need to enforce the laws that are already there.
Absolutely.
That you don't need to create executive orders. You don't need to put law into action without going through Congress to try to control guns through background checks. Because like they said, Rubio said, bad guys don't buy guns from gun stores and gun shows and go through background checks. That doesn't do anything to keep guns out of the hands of these people you're trying to prevent.
And believe it or not, that's another Huckabee. And he's not my favorite candidate. I have him very low on my range.
At least you don't think he's going to win. I don't either.
Well,
but you don't like him either. Huh?
Well, I don't.
I think he's a good candidate.
He says things that are right. He says
he does.
Unlike Obama, I've been to gun shows and bought guns, and I tell you, it's much more difficult to buy a gun than it is to go to grocery shopping. And and Obama paints it like, it's just as easy as going just walk in and walk off a gun.
Yeah, those are some of the good things. San Bernardino, when he talked about the shooting, they said, well, you know what, bullets can go both ways too. And when somebody comes in and shoots, if the other people have guns, they can protect themselves. So it's not the guns that are a problem; it's the person pulling the trigger.
Right.
And so we need to shift the debate a little bit, the focus away from just saying we got to get rid of guns. And
I don't know who said it. They said that the people they brought up, the places they brought up where there are problems, are no shooting zone, no gun zones.
Right.
If you have, they don't go to NRA headquarters and try to shoot up there. They know that somebody there is going to be packing, right? So you're not going to go.
You're not going to go there. Another thing we brought up that was good was Social Security. They said is not the government's money.
That's Huckabee again.
That was Huckabee. So, well, he said you ought to rank him higher. You agree with everything he says.
Well,
he's a smart guy. He is.
He is.
He's not going to win, but he's a smart guy.
And he said he's taken on the Clintons before. I mean,
he has done that.
He's the
in Arkansas.
Governor of Arkansas. He took on the Clinton cronies.
He probably really would be a really good candidate if he could get it. He just doesn't have the backing. And I think he won Iowa years ago in the presidential. I mean, he's a good guy. All right, so some of the bad things, we got to keep moving.
All right, the bad, you've got Rubio's boots.
Now, I don't understand that. What does that have to do with anything?
Apparently, he's a short guy.
Well,
and so he's got.
I'm not the tallest guy.
Well, you don't wear 4-inch heels.
No, I don't.
To make yourself look.
So he wears high boots.
And again, Rubio said he didn't answer a question on immigration. He's in one of his past bills. He was advocating 1 million people per year to immigrate to the U.S. And they asked him about that, and he avoided the question.
He avoids the question on immigration.
Right.
So that's a bad thing. Another thing about Rubio that was bad, he really came down with a negative commentary on Kristie. He said he supports Common Core, gun control, and
Obamacare,
Planned
Parenthood, and the worst of all was Sotomayor for the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Now, but Kristie says that's not true. He denies that. So I don't know. That's why it's a bad thing. You think he did?
I think he did.
Okay. So it's negative for two reasons. One, you've got one Republican slamming another that's helping the opponent. in a way that maybe isn't necessary. Secondly, if Chris Christie really does support all those things, he's an establishment candidate. That's not a good sign for the Republican Party in putting in an establishment candidate, because their establishment person has got to basically be Kristie, Rubio, maybe Jeb Bush. Those are the three options for an establishment candidate. The non-establishment candidates, you got Trump and Cruz. Well, the Republican Party doesn't want them. The people might. The party doesn't want them.
Yeah, Rubio is.
So Rubio and Kristie are your best establishment
candidates. They were going at it, and Rubio and Cruz were going at it, and it just looked bad. I still say that Kristie has, if the Republican wins, he's got a great chance of getting the Attorney General.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be a great Attorney General.
He would. You're right. He fits that very well.
Yeah.
And he's been, I don't know if he's been a good governor or not. I can't comment. He's been a governor. He's had the experience.
Another a bad thing was we know what New York values are.
Well, this is going to be on the next category, though.
Yeah, this is
Trump.
The bad. This is bad. Cruz said we know what New York values are, and it's not conservatives have come, or not too many conservatives come from New York or out of Manhattan, is what he said.
Yeah, so Cruz basically
that was probably the worst thing he
made
said.
Really bad comment about he basically his debating skills really dropped there.
Yeah.
He basically took on Trump, and we'll talk about Donald in the next category, but Cruz hurt himself badly by doing that.
And I don't think he's going to win New York now.
No. I don't think so. He pretty much took that state away, right?
Right.
And we know that that's a big state. There's a lot of electorates. I think we need to go on to Trump, to Donald. We talked about the good and the bad. What about the Trump? He's his own category. Number one, he said some really eloquent and brilliant things about trade, about tariffs, and about China. What do you think?
Right. Well, one of the things they asked...
He sounded smart.
Well, they asked him, there are 10 million hits on your comment about no Muslims brought into this country temporarily. Would you change that? And he said, no.
Right. Yeah. Well, back on the China, though, we didn't talk about that.
Okay.
He said trade. He talked about China, and he said our problem is China. We need to put a tariff up to block these goods coming over because they're not being taxed. And he said, if we do that, and then they said, well, if you do that, you're going to cause all this. Everybody. He said, it won't happen. It's the threat.
It's the threat
of doing it. And he said he'll back it up.
What's going on is China is, we don't put too many taxes on anybody because we would like free trade. The United States has always been free trade for everywhere around. But
he'd like to change that.
Well, he's changing it because they're not playing fair.
That's right.
They're devaluing their currency. When you devalue their currency, all of a sudden their goods become cheaper than our goods, and they can actually manufacture and ship those goods over here cheaper than we can buy the raw materials to make the goods. Right.
So he's saying that's hurting U.S. jobs. It's hurting U.S. economy. And he's saying put a tariff on them. And he says it won't ever come to that, but he would back it up. I'm just want to point out, if you look at every person on that stage, this is my prediction, and I've watched them pretty close. I don't think there's a brighter, more eloquent speaker on that kind of stuff, trade and money, than Donald Trump.
He says
he's done it. He's done it. He's not just talking about it.
Devaluing the money has cost America 50,000 plants, 4 to 7 million jobs, $5 billion in trade deficit every year because of their devaluing their money.
I totally believe it. And the corporate inversion is this thing where he's saying they locate a company somewhere else, right?
Right. He says the biggest threat to America is corporate inversion. This is where Apple or any big company who's located here, they do most of their business in the United States, but they take their headquarters and say, no, our headquarters is now in Ireland, and so we're going to pay
lower tax that way.
We pay the taxes. Our profit gets paid in Ireland.
So this is corporate
inversion, and it's absolutely wrong.
And Trump's the one talking about this, and he's right. Another thing is, of course, he did say he stuck to his guns on the temporary ban on Muslims, and he really made a big point when he said he stands for New York values. He loves New Yorkers. He wouldn't follow Cruz's line, and really Cruz stuck his foot in his mouth, and Trump came out on top on that.
Yeah, and he said...
And New York's a big state.
He says,
Trump's
I'm angry.
winning there.
And Trump says, I'm angry because our country is a mess. And
well, that was another thing. He said something about the South Carolina governor, right?
Right.
And she had come out against him, and she was a Tea Partier, and now I guess she switched over to Republican establishment. But anyway, the female governor in South Carolina, said some things about Trump was too angry. And Donald said, "You're darn right I'm angry.
Our country
I really am angry." And he said, "I don't take that as a insult. I take it as a compliment."
Right.
So he turned that one around. So I tell you, Trump's in his own category. He's ahead in all the polls. He's likely to be the nominee if something doesn't change. He did say he would not be the vice president for Cruz. He won't take number 2.
Won't take number 2.
Which I don't know. Maybe he would if it came down to it.
We kind of knew he wasn't. He's not a number 2 type of person.
Yeah. So anyway, it was an interesting debate. To me, it was the best debate of the ones we've had. It was the best debate. Is there a Democratic debate coming up soon?
I think there is one tonight. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll
so
see.
This is God Talk Improv, where we mix up science and faith in 15 minutes. Thank you for listening.
Please visit our website at godtalk.com. Our audio files can be found on iTunes, SoundCloud, and many other podcast platforms. You can find all of our God Talk videos by searching Dr. Andy and Doug on YouTube. Please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Dr. Andy and Doug. Thank you for listening.